It is really a pleasure to be here. And I was actually born in Santa Clara County Hospital. And when I hit 3 years old, I told my parents to move to the East Coast. Or my father got transferred, one of those two. And I grew up in Maryland and moved to Boston in, oh my God, 1980, a while ago. And our 3 children live around the country. I have a son who's in Oakland, so I'm going to see him later. And I have a sister who lives in the Bay Area and a brother who lives in LA. So it is really, really a pleasure to come to California, to come back to my birthplace. And what I want to talk with you guys today is about healthy outcomes from positive experiences. So I think that, is there anyone here who has ever heard of adverse childhood experiences? Okay, good. Okay, we're not going to talk about that, but we are a little bit. But it turns out, and this is a summary of what we're going to talk about today, is that our brains are set up to learn from experience. And we've developed a whole framework based on what happens when we have positive experiences. And what are those positive experiences that children need to grow and be resilient? Okay, so now, for my first trick, I'm going to change to the next slide. We're talking about growing hope. And I say growing hope because what we're doing now is hope is taking root nationally. So we've been around the country. In the past year or so, we've reached about 22,000 providers, mostly through Zoom. And I can't tell you what a joy it is to actually see real, live, living, three-dimensional human beings. So thank you for inviting me and for being here. But it's really taking root. And we'll talk a little bit about some of our collaborators. I'm not going to do a lot of name dropping, but this is something that has really, really gone viral during the pandemic. Oh, sorry. So what I want to do is just give you a brief overview of it. So we're gonna watch this for a second.
The Healthy Outcomes from Positive Experiences framework is based on research that shows that
it's supposed to come out of these lungs.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So the Healthy Outcomes from Positive Experiences is based on a framework where positive childhood experiences create healthy, thriving adults. And we know that children can suffer from racism and poverty and other problems. And positive experiences lead to resilience and adult health. Our group has categorized these in a framework with 4 building blocks of hope. And the building blocks are relationships. We need to have stable, secure relationships, beginning at birth, safe, nurturing environments. And environments are both physical and emotional safe environments. We need to be engaged, and we'll talk more about what that means, particularly with youth. And finally, children need opportunities for emotional growth. And when we've worked on this, what we try to do is create a system of hope-informed care. Hope is healthy outcomes from positive experience, where we as providers identify, promote access to, and celebrate positive childhood experiences. So for many of us, this is transformative, because what we're paid for is to screen for deficits and problems and things that people may be ashamed of, and then tell them that we or our other professional colleagues will cure those broken people. Hope doesn't do that. Hope starts by looking for the strengths, the sources of resilience, and helps parents do what they really want to do, which is create these environments and these experiences that children need to thrive. So the next slide. So with that as an overview, and I'm sorry you heard my voice instead of Lauren. She has a much nicer voice. So what we think, and from the little bit I listened to and our prior conversations with your leaders, there's a shared set of values here, where we want to engage parents and families. We admire the things they've gone through, and by the time they get to us, they've been through a lot and succeeded sometimes, and we listen to their stories and the narrative for ways of understanding how we can partner to help parents achieve their goals, because after all, almost all parents want their children to thrive. Next slide. I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about the neurobiology of secure attachment, because it's relatively new. And by relatively new, I mean it's newer than ACEs, which was sort of from the 20th century. Next slide. And as we go through this, we're going to talk over and over about cultural humility, cultural resilience, and the things that communities bring to this picture as well. Next slide. And finally, opportunities for reflection and co-created learning. So I'm really, really lucky because I'm going to be here today and going to give you a background on what hope is. And tomorrow, we're going to reflect on what we learned today and co-create ways of changing our workflows. So that's something to look forward to. So please, wake up in the morning and get here by, what's my talk, by 11? Whatever it is. Okay, next slide. So let's start with an introduction to hope. Okay. Hope exists for the simple reason that positive experiences help children grow into healthier, more resilient adults. And hope aims to better understand these positive experiences and support them with our families that we care for and the families that we serve. Next slide. And oh my God, there's so much out there on this. Once you start looking under the rocks, there's a lot of things going on. So the Science of the Positive from the Montana Institute really puts forward their first thing is the positive exists, look for it, nourish it. Have people here heard of the Strengthening Families Protective Factors? So hope is a daughter of the protective factors. This is something that the Center for the Study of Social Policy developed